Well, we've seen several water rescues overnight from the fast rising floodwater, including at a mobile home park in Collinsville, where several families are displaced.
The 2 Works for You's Giselle Puente is live at Horsepen Creek Park on the north side of Collinsville with the very latest for us this morning. Giselle.
Aaron, Corey, the water keeps flowing here behind me at Horsepen Creek, and the water levels remain high. And we know that there's going to be rain on and off this morning, so it is not safe if you live here. They have a temporary shelter at a local church. Now, we do know that firefighters were out here for several hours this morning. They had to use rafts during this rescue operation that lasted about 3 hours. The Collinsville Fire Department responded around 1:30 this morning and used the help from the Rural Fire Protection District and Owasso and Limestone firefighters. They pulled out between 20 to 25 people from their mobile homes here, including several children and babies. Now, some of the people rescued said it was scary to see the water rising so quickly inside their homes.
I was freaking out. I am still freaking out. It is a nightmare. I was just worried about getting my daughter, and I was worried about my best friend and her kids and everybody in the trailer park. It's a nightmare.
Residents say this area is prone to flooding, but it had never gotten this bad. In fact, Collinsville firefighters say the last time this area was heavily flooded was back in 1986. Now, again, there is a temporary shelter set up at a local church for any resident who might be affected by the flooding this morning, and more rain is expected today. Reporting in Collinsville, Giselle Puente, 2 Works for You.
And continuing our breaking news coverage, another town dealing with flash flooding right now in Skiatook. The town is almost surrounded by floodwater at the moment. This is a live look at Highway 20 just east of town, where ODOT is blocking you from entering. Bird Creek, which flows into Skiatook, is already in record flood stage north of town at 34 feet. The record was 32 feet. Now, that water is moving downstream. Almost all of the roads on the north and east side of town cross Bird Creek and are impassable. We have a crew working to get into town to check out on that flooding, and we'll bring you updates all morning long.
Meanwhile, several people had to be rescued from their homes by boat in Hominy overnight as the floodwaters got higher there. Emergency officials told us at 1.5 feet of water was inside homes on the south side of town. Shelters have been opened at the Nazarene Church and the Methodist this morning, of course, and we are getting a look at more of the impacts all across Green Country.
Sperry schools are closed today because of flooding. A video from overnight shows disaster restoration crews working at the school after some water got into the building there. No word yet how bad the damage is.
And viewer pictures show the flooding in downtown Claremore. This is the view of flooded streets and the parking lot at the Rogers County Courthouse. You can see that parking lot underwater there. That's courtesy of the Claremore Police Department. You can see that intersection there in Claremore. And our storm chaser Matt Wing took these photos of flooding in Glenpool. You can see water getting higher at a used car lot there. And that creek that flows next to Highway 75 was out of its banks last night. So, of course, lots of flooding pictures coming into us this morning. If you have any flooding near you, we, of course, want you to send those to our Facebook page, KJRH Facebook page.
Yes, one tornado tore through North Tulsa. This is some of the video from our Sky 2 drone. The National Weather Service was out assessing the damage, and one family we spoke to says they were asleep when the tornado sirens went off and quickly took cover.
First thing to do would be to get the kids. We got the kids and make sure they're okay, and then we got them and put them in the hallway, and we got blankets and put them on top of us and just huddled together.
Now, a large tree did fall on her roof, causing damage on the outside and inside of her home. Along her street, neighbors were also impacted by the storm, which left behind snapped trees, downed power lines, and damaged fences. And the National Weather Service also assessed damage near the Cherokee-Delaware County line, where a possible EF2 tornado touched down in the town of Peggs late Monday night. Here you see what's left of one local business. Gas pumps ripped out, debris from the building spread all around. The owners of the Cowboys gas station and corner store say this comes as a blow while as they prepare for the summer season.
It's like in the wintertime, it's a small community, we struggle. So this is our time to shine, and anyway, I'm not sure what our rebuilding time period will be.
They've been on site all through the night trying to find out what's worth saving.
And All right, welcome back. 6:42 this morning. You can see this is the Sky 2 2 drone live flying over the flooded Arkansas River right now. That is a look at the Jinx Aquarium that's over near the 96th Street Bridge. You can see that the water is cresting up near those trees right behind those buildings there. So definitely very high water right now. Of course, not quite up to those buildings just yet, but you can see just how high the Arkansas River is at its banks. You're taking a look at the Jinx Aquarium there near 96th Street Bridge. So let's go back to, overnight there was concern for a runaway barge on the Arkansas River just south of Muskogee, but just in the last hour we have learned that that barge has been located. 2 Works for You's Giselle Puente is live from Weber's Falls, where officials feared that barge might slam into the dam there. They've been looking for it all night. And Giselle, what can you tell us?
Well, Aaron, the dam here at Weber's Fall is temporarily spared. As so far we know from emergency management officials is that those 2 barges that broke free last night are stuck in some rocks upstream about 7 miles northwest from where we're standing at Spaniard Creek. So that is some good news this morning. It has been averted, this threat, just for right now. Now, those 2 barges we know broke free last night in Muskogee by the Twin Forks area. They started heading downstream on the Arkansas River, and at one point they made it under Highway 62 without hitting the bridge there. Emergency management officials feared that the barges would break through the dam and then cause even more flooding here in Weber's Falls. Now, that's why they made a mandatory evacuation of the whole town of Weber's Falls. Now, I want to show you here, even though that is not a threat at this point, with the 2 barges stuck upstream, you can see the water levels remain extremely high here at the Arkansas River by the dam here in Weber's Falls. So, of course, we're going to continue to monitor the situation and be in contact with emergency management. Another thing to note this morning for drivers is that State Highway 100 remains closed between Gore and Weber's Falls, as well as Highway 64 and Interstate 40 in Muskogee County. Reporting in Weber's Falls, I'm Giselle Puente, 2 Works for You.
All right, thank you, Giselle. Unbelievable as we see the water rising in the river there behind her. All right, so let's check in with Andres Gutierrez, who is live in Muskogee County with an update on the situation there. Andres, what are you hearing this morning?
Aaron, this is the body of water that covers Hancock Road right next to the sewer plant here. The water is so deep that you can see that some of the fencing that lines the perimeter of this plant is actually submerged underwater. We have seen a number of workers walk along the plant to see what the water will do. Emergency management officials here do anticipate that the sewer plant will take on water, so they've put sandbags as one line of defense. People in low-lying areas around this county have also putting up sandbags, but officials really would like to see those folks evacuate. Some folks, though, are not heeding that warning just yet.
We'll wait it out until it's done. There's nothing more we can do. We got everything that we could get out, and we got it out.
And now for folks who are leaving, there is a shelter that is in place at Macomb College in the Warrior Gym. The American Red Cross is running that shelter. They're flying in teams to handle the folks that go to that shelter. And if it fills up, they are planning to open another one in this county. Reporting live in Muskogee this morning, Andres Gutierrez, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Andres. Now let's send things over to Clint.
2 Works for You begins right now with breaking news.
Right now, more homes are at risk of flooding as the Arkansas River rises again, now into its highest levels so far. But it may have hit its peak across the area. From Tulsa to Muskogee, the river's cresting, but it won't be coming down anytime soon. Now, as of this morning, residents continue working to protect lives and property. Now, we have live team coverage all morning long. Our team is spread out across green country to show the impacts from the flooding and what's still to come. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Corey Duke. Aaron Conran will join us in just a moment with the very latest on the flooding. Let's get you updated on what happened overnight. The Arkansas River and the Tulsa Metro peaked following yesterday's ramped up release from Keystone Dam. The output is now more than 250,000 cubic feet per second. It caused the river to rise to 22 feet in Tulsa, which puts it in major flood stage and just 3 feet shy of the all-time record. Officials say it should remain this high through Sunday. And there are several new road closures we'll be telling you about as well. Now, with the river rising again, more homes are at risk in the Tulsa Metro this morning. Aaron Conrad joins us live at Oral Roberts University, where a new sandbag station just opened up overnight. Aaron, are more people showing up?
Well, that's right, Corey. You can see behind me, just look how many people. We've seen people coming and going all morning, and it started to ramp up over the last 30 minutes. A lot of people coming, getting as many bags as they need. Now, we've talked to several people who say they're not really sure how many they should take, what they should do, but they're just taking precautions. Now, if you do come out here, we are at 81st and Lewis in the Mabee Center parking lot. And if you are coming out here to get one of these bags, I'm going to show you. This is what they look like. And the tops are open. That's something that you need to keep in mind as you head out here. There is a tie to tie them up, but you definitely don't need to come out here and pick them up by the wrong end and get sand all over your vehicle. And of course, also make sure that if you don't have a truck or an SUV and are aware of how much that vehicle can handle, that you don't overload your car, because you won't get very far. So come take what you need, 81st and Lewis. But also, you know, one of the other major concerns for folks are evacuations. And one of the area that has been evacuated is the Cherry Hill Mobile Home and RV Park. Residents have been leaving since yesterday, and of course a very emotional time for those folks leaving their homes.
It's tough because they've been here 4 years. They love this little park. They've kind of, you know, made their little home here, and now we're going to store the camper somewhere, and they're going to live with us until we can get anything better.
Well, so now that it is light out, or starting to get light out here, we anticipate more people to come out here and get these sandbags. The city put about 2,000 sandbags out here, and so far we've seen people taking about 10, 20 sandbags at a time, because really that's what a lot of vehicles can handle. So we haven't seen people coming out here and overloading too much, but it looks like there's about 2,000 and people picking up a few here and there. So if you do need sandbags, 81st and Lewis, the Mabee Center parking lot, these sandbags will be out here first come, first serve. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Next to Sand Springs, where the Meadow Valley and River West areas are flooded this morning, and now the water is creeping closer to more homes, and it's impacting a major highway for commuters. 2 Works View's John Kipper is live along Highway 51 in Sand Springs. John, what are you seeing on the roads?
Well, right now there is water on the road of both sides of Highway 51 near Sand Springs. And now, in fact, police just a few blocks down the road do have the street shut down, at least as of now. And for residents on the south end of town near the Arkansas River, they are also going through it. Now, those folks in the Riverview and Meadow Valley subdivisions had mandatory evacuations yesterday. And currently many, if not all, those homes that were evacuated are taking in some kind of water. Sand Springs police say it could be until next week until the recovery effort begins. They also say that they want as many people as possible out of the area for some time.
Fears are people are going to get complacent. They're going to start seeing the water is not a novelty anymore, and something not to be scared of. And we really want people to stay away from the water. We also don't want people coming by to look because this is people's lives, and they're trying to cope with what's gone on.
And police are also going to be in the area of those flood damaged homes just to make sure that there's no trouble, such as looters. And as you can tell, there are water lines on the road behind me, indicating at the very least the water is beginning to recede a bit, which is, I'm sure, residents in the town are quite thankful for. Reporting near Sand Springs, John Kipper, 2 Works for You.
A silver lining there. Thanks, John. Now, as we've been telling you, Keystone Dam has been steadily increasing its flow for days. This is what about 250,000 cubic feet of water per second looks like from our Sky 2 drone. And officials are watching the dam closely. And so is our Ashley Wheeler. She's live at the dam for us with the latest this morning. Ashley.
Well, Corey, it really is an impressive sight. I can hear the roar from the dam right now. We've had people this morning coming to look at this impressive sight behind me. Now, like you were saying, the Army Corps of Engineers is currently releasing a little more than 250,000 cubic feet of water per second from that Keystone Dam, which all releases into the Arkansas River. Now, the reason they have to release so much water is because Keystone Lake, it can only hold so much water. Now, the Corps is expected to leave it flowing at the same rate through Sunday, which is May 26th. However, If we do receive an abundance of additional rain, they could increase that release flow to somewhere around 300,000 cubic feet per second. And because of the amount of water currently being released, floodwater is still steadily rising. And like everyone has been saying, residents and businesses along the Arkansas River, they need to frequently pay attention to the situation, remain vigilant, and take those precautions. We are expected to hear from Senator James Lankford after he tours the dams this morning, and that'll take place in just a little while. He'll provide information on the next steps for the elevated water levels. And we will be here during that press conference, and we will bring you those updates. Reporting live from the Keystone Dam, Ashley Wheeler, 2 Works for You.
All right, we'll be watching. Thank you, Ashley. Dozens of families are forced to find shelter after being evacuated from their home.